Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be back. Welcome to Living and Learning. I'm Allison Kinnear, and I've been gone for 2 weeks camping in a lot of different places. And so I'm so excited to be back. Today, we are talking about no more outsourcing, and I will tell you what that means in just a moment. First, I wanted to tell you a story. When I was a kid growing up, I was kind of built for public education. I loved the rules. I loved doing I didn't exactly love it, but I was really good at doing what people asked me to do. I was really good at following the rules and doing what I was told. And because I was good at that, I got a lot of positive attention and a lot of positive reinforcement for that. And so I really loved the rhythms of schools and just I could follow directions. I was really, really good at following directions. And when I graduated, I went to Humboldt State University, and I remember sitting in my first class, or maybe it wasn't my first, but it was one of my first child development classes. And the instructor had said, okay, I'd like, you've done all this work so far in the semester, and I'd like a 6-page paper about this topic, whatever it was. And I remember approaching her after class saying, well, what do you want those 5 pages to be about? Like, what part of it? Because it was kind of a broad topic that she had given us. And I said, well, what part of it do you want me to write about? And she said, I don't know. What part do you want to write about? And I said, well, I don't know. Well, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want? How do you want me to break it down? And she said, well, what do you think about these topics? Like, I want to hear your critical thinking come through. I don't want to tell you what it is you should write. That doesn't make sense. And it was such a pivotal moment for me. It was like the first time that I was asked to create something of my own and to think critically and not just to follow directions and regurgitate what had been given me. I actually had to sit and process and think and go, okay, well, what do I think about all of this? This was not a question I had ever considered before in the past. What do I think about this topic? I was so good at following rules. I never put myself into it because the people who struggled were the people who had opinions about things. They couldn't follow the rules. I prided myself in not being one of those people. But suddenly here I was being asked to think critically about what I thought and to take a stand for what I wanted. And that was absolutely terrifying. It was like exciting and cool, but it was also like the idea of it was exciting and cool, but the reality was so incredibly terrifying because I was no longer trying to do the right thing. I was no longer trying to just follow what everyone else was telling me to do. I actually had to turn inward and to get to know what it is that I thought and what I wanted. Right now, we are at a time, and I think about this particularly for those of you who are parents, who have kids, going to school, maybe not, we don't know. There's so much unknown, and the right way to do things has been blown apart. The well-worn paths that have been laid before us for generations no longer is the norm. It can't be in so many ways. And so we're all kind of wandering in this unknown, and it can be really hard when we just want to follow the rules and do what we're told and have someone else tell us what to do. I know that. I know that feeling so well. And what happens is right now we are turning towards a lot of the other opinions. Well, what do you think I should do? And what do you think I should do? And we're looking for experts, and we're looking at so many things, and we're getting so many mixed messages. And so this is really a time when similar to when I was asked, you write the paper, you decide the content, you decide the opinion, you decide what it is that you want to put in there. This is a time when we all, individually and collectively, can no longer rely upon the outside social norms, but rather needs to turn inward and ask ourselves, what do I want? What makes sense for me? What makes sense for my family? What makes sense in this microcosm for right now? Because there's no right or wrong answer. And surprise, surprise, there's never been a right or wrong answer. It's just we've had our norms and now our norms are being disrupted. So this is a time when we really have to turn inward to decide what's best for me, what's best for my family, what's best right now with the information that I have, with my values, with my beliefs, with my what is truly important for me. What's my opinion on it? And to take that stand. Because there's what we want. We all kind of want everything to return to normal, right? In some way. And yet that's not our reality. And so our reality is we get to decide, because nothing's promised to us. Nothing has ever been promised to us. So what I find happens so often, and I know I used to do it a lot, was I used to outsource other people's opinions about how I should live my life. Well, what does my mom think? What does my friend think? What does my husband think? What do all these other, what do experts think? How should I live my life? As opposed to turning inward and kind of going, wait, what do I want in this moment? What is it that I'm desiring? And if I can't exactly get that, what can I get instead that still meets the underlying itch, the underlying need? And how can that be possible? How can I make that possible? This is where we get creative and get into problem solving mode. So I leave you with that. No more outsourcing. If there's anything that this COVID crisis and everything else has taught us, is like there's no making predictable plans to be in the right. Right now, we're all being asked to turn inward, to trust ourselves, to trust our knowing, to trust the information that we have available to us at this time, to make our next best guess, and to move forward with resiliency, and to trust that that resiliency is enough. So I leave you with that. This week, practice that. Practice tuning in. If there's one thing that you can do is tune in and go, what is it that I desire here? What is it that I need? What is it that I want? And to get really curious about that, to insert that into the conversation and do a little less, what should the news tell me? What should my friends tell me? You can listen to that. But the real question is, what's going to be a right fit for me, for my family, even if it's hard, even if it sucks, even if it's terrifying, to just listen to that voice. Craig, thank you so much. I'm excited to be back as well. I wish you all a wonderful week of living and learning. I am so excited to continue diving in and supporting people. I will see you all next week. Take care.